massive moves are imminent for the Los Angeles Lakers as Rob Pelinka has come out and not only revealed the Lakers' master plan, but revealed some huge details as it pertains to the future of the Lakers. And we have some huge reports revealing that massive changes are incoming for this team. We're going to break all it down in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, we're getting very close to 20,000 subscribers. So if you want to help us towards that goal of 20,000 subscribers and you're enjoying the daily videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Ladies and gentlemen, Rob Pelinka, all these guys, JJ Redick, had their end of season press conference today, and a ton of news came out as it pertains to both the Lakers' future, Rob Pelinka's future. There's going to be a ton of videos coming for you all, so stay tuned for all those. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to dive into this today. A ton of comments. I want to start with Rob Pelinka. He has revealed that huge changes are coming, and this is music to the ears of a lot of Lakers fans, because I had a video earlier, just a couple hours ago, highlighting how this Lakers team needs another center. And whether you want to blame JJ Redick for playing, the five wings, if you want to blame whoever you want to blame, at the end of the day, it is on Rob Pelinka for not adding a center. And he says here, Rob Pelinka says that adding size to the roster is a primary focus this offseason. We know we have a lot of work to do on the roster. It will look different for sure. He says the need to add a center is clear and obvious going into the offseason, especially after the rescinded trade at the deadline. We just didn't have time after the Luka trade, but now we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, he is tripling down, and we're going to have a ton more videos coming out for you all on some of these different topics. He is tripling down on the fact that A, there's going to be a plethora of changes to this team, and B, they absolutely need a center. And there's been a lot of rumblings about Nic Claxton. We'll dive into him in a minute. But at the end of the day, folks, this is good news. JJ Redick, Rob Pelinka, they came out and said, hey, especially Rob Pelinka, I'm going to do everything I can to put, a better roster together for LeBron James, put a better roster together for Luka Doncic. And most importantly, for Luka Doncic, this team needs a center. There's no doubt about it. They need one. It's very clear. And it's good to hear that Rob Pelinka also knows that. Of course, he's very smart. He just got extended, and we knew he was going to go out and get a center. But for him to make it very clear that they are going to, and you can see in the quote there, we have a lot of work to do. It will look different for sure. We'll dive into some of the outlooks of the team in a minute here. This is a huge thing for Rob Pelinka to say. And he dives into some more quotes here, stating the Lakers will look different next year. It's important to understand this team was able to finish third. When you make a big trade at the deadline, your roster is trying to build an airplane in the sky. Now we get a chance to land it and see what we have to change. That's what we'll do. When you trade your center for a PG, it's easy to create issues. One of our goals is to add size in the backcourt, adding a center, and we have a lot of work to do, and it will look different next year for sure. And, that is a very good point. They completely shifted the entire outlook of their team, not just trading away Anthony Davis, but they also gave away their best 3-and-D defender in Max Christie. And that's something that got kind of lost within all this. He was turning into and blossoming into a very good 3-and-D player and someone that would have helped in the series against the Timberwolves. Would he have made a difference for them to win the series? Probably not, just because of the size that the Timberwolves have. But what it would have changed is the fact that, hey, the Los Angeles Lakers would have had a better defender. And now, a part of, we'll have another video coming out on this, a part of their offseason is not just adding a center. It is adding a 3-and-D wing. That is one of their one of the things they desperately need to do. They need to add a 3-and-D wing. And whether it's, there's a lot of different options to go out there. But as it pertains to the center position, that's what we're focusing on in this video. There is a few different options. Now, we're going to dive into a bunch of different things. Now, I want to start with this here, because a lot of people talking about what center do you think we should get? And we don't just need any center. We need a great effing center. Who is that? Please give me some names. I'd go all in for Claxton or Bam. And Claxton's going to be the focus for me here now, because we know how good, Nic Claxton is, but we also know that they were linked to him at the trade deadline. They've been linked to him plenty of times in the past. Even when you had Anthony Davis, there was links to Nic Claxton, just because he is a more traditional five who is able, and his focus is he's a lob threat and he's a fantastic defender. Those are the two things that Nic Claxton does well. And when you look at a center that the Lakers need, that is the exact mold and archetype for the Lakers. If you're going to pair somebody with Luka and you're going to either trade or go all in, that would be the type of center. And you can see here, Rob Pelinka, and, obviously we had AD, he was a beast, but he says regarding the next center, he says a vertical lob threat and someone who can protect the rim are the ideal traits, and they're looking for a center, but they will not limit themselves to that archetype. So this is interesting because it's pretty clear and obvious. He's kind of naming a few different guys. Now, if they're not able to get them, sure. Mark Williams, did he fit that bill? Yes. Does Nic Claxton fit that bill? Absolutely. Nic Claxton is probably the one who fits that bill the most. Bam Adebayo would work as well. That would be a trade. And it's yet to be seen if Rob Pelinka is going to go for more of a trade route or more of the avenue of, okay, let's go out and try to get a free agent to try to not give up any assets, because the Lakers don't have a ton of assets they can trade in order for one of these centers. But Claxton would be a perfect fit, a fantastic rim protector, a fantastic lob threat, would fit perfectly alongside Luka Doncic. He's basically a Jackson Hayes, but, much better at basketball, if you want to put it that way, which is, pretty, maybe it's bad to say, but it's kind of the way it is. And you look at Luka, Reaves, Rui, LeBron. That seems to be the starting four that they're going to be going with next year. Adding a center to that and then adding some depth along their bench is really all you need. And again, adding size is their primary focus. We know we have a lot of work to do in the roster, and it will look different for sure. And there is a lot of work to do for this Los Angeles Lakers team, no matter what way you slice it, whether it's a center, whether it's a 3-and-D wing, whether it's adding bench scoring, all these different things. They went with Alex Len. The gamble didn't pay off. Now, you also are going to have Maxi Kleber next year, and maybe the future of Jackson Hayes is interesting as well. He obviously came out and spoke about the getting benched a little bit and revealed some interesting things. But at the end of the day, you can see some more quotes here from Rob. Every year we embark training camp in a journey to putting a banner up, we've fallen short. That said, this season was exciting for sure. JJ Redick brought a new energy and work ethic. He's a great partner to work with. We've made significant trade in bringing Luka in. I'm excited to have the premise of him and the next decade of basketball to build a team around him. Can't wait to get to work starting today. And of course, we're probably not going to see some immediate moves until the season ends. June is usually the biggest time for all these trades. But we could see, there's going to be a lot of rumors and a lot of, inside information, some scoop. And we'll cover you all the way through. But looking at the offseason guide, when it comes to LeBron, he has, player option, opt in or opt out. Deadline is June 29th. So we have about, 2 months-ish to figure out what LeBron's going to do. I would assume he's going to opt in. Tradable players, Reaves, Hachimura, Finney-Smith, Vincent, Knecht. I think the most likely outcome here is, I think they're going to keep Rui. Dorian Finney-Smith probably keep as well, but Gabe Vincent, Austin Reaves, and Dalton Knecht, I mean, based on the verbiage that Rob Pelinka was using, they're probably going to want to keep Austin Reaves, talking about a big three of Luka, LeBron, and Reaves. Dalton Knecht is the biggest trade chip here. He is, he was in the trade for Mark Williams, got rescinded. They still have swaps that they can use in a trade to acquire one of these guys. But at the end of the day, they don't have a ton of assets to trade. We know that Luka's most likely going to get extended. That is going to be August 2nd. And the first round picks that are tradable are the 2031 or the 2032 pick. And of course, swaps 6, 8, 30, 31, and 32. So for the next, you can put together a package of Dalton Knecht, a first round pick, and swaps. And you can try to get somebody. But again, you're going all in at that point, and you need to somewhat try to be, smart with your assets. Yes, assuming LeBron plays next year, it's going to be one of his last years, you'd assume. They don't have a ton of, talent on the back end. They don't have a ton of tradable pieces here. Unless they're going and swinging big for a Giannis type, which is possible, it would be Austin Reaves plus. Dalton Knecht is probably the most likely outcome. They didn't even use Dalton Knecht in the playoffs. JJ Redick didn't use him, so maybe they trade Reaves, maybe they trade Knecht. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a long offseason of rumors, reports, all these different things. Because ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, moves are going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of rumors going around. But after the Luka Doncic trade, nothing is shocking at this point in the sense of nothing can't rule out Rob Pelinka for anything, especially after saying this, that they are going to add to the roster. The team is going to look different. They are going to go for it, and hopefully they can go for it in a way that really solidifies what they have, because it's been an interesting few weeks. And ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning here, and they have lots of time to do it. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Cheers.